off and on each game, and then I might try to cut it up. I might not. There's no promises. But the idea behind this here is I'm going to take the James Madison Dukes, who are in the playoffs tomorrow against the Oregon Ducks, and I'm going to put them in the SEC. We're probably going to replace Vanderbilt because even though they had a really good year this year in the SEC, in future years, honestly, they usually drop off and become a really bad team. So we're going to just simulate season 1 here today as we start a brand new dynasty with the Dukes. And I'm really curious to see how we can do here and, if they end up developing into anything or not. I think that this is going to be an interesting experiment because James Madison has kind of a really unique team. Since they moved up to the FBS, they have been, I mean, incredible, honestly. That's the best way to put it. We are going to turn coach firing off here. We're going to turn manual progression completely off. Or the penalty, I should say, completely off. We're going to turn off the pre-order bonuses. We're going to go, I think it's 11-minute quarters with the accelerated clock on. I think I do 20 normally. We're going to set all this stuff up here and then before I start the next video. But I do think for year 1, I want to leave it on default and then we'll drop it after that. Because my goal here is to make year 1 kind of tough. So I got auto progress players off. All right. That's it that we're going to do for now for settings. Let's go ahead and advance. And we're going to choose James Madison. Here's the thing. Year 1, we're not going to be their coach. So I'm just going to choose Bob Chesney, who's their current head coach. And then we'll move him to a new team if he gets a better offer at the end of the year. He went to UCLA in real life. I have no idea if he'll end up going there, but if we get an offer to go there, we'll certainly go there. So I did forget when I turned off settings. I actually want to leave on auto recruiting because I'm not going to do anything for the Dukes this year. And we're just going to jump right into the next week. And then we'll simulate to like conference championship week or something. And we will see if we're able to get anybody to come, and just how things are going. This is going to be a shorter one. I certainly am kind of just wanting to get this out and test it. I'm not sure the quality of this one here as we get into it, but like I said, this is to test settings, to test all that, and just see how everything works, and if I have the volume right on the mic, if I need to adjust the mic, because my computer died. That's the reason why the Indian River Dynasty hasn't been out. And honestly, I was just going to jump on and stream that, but I had almost a full season recorded, or I had a full season recorded. That's quite important to where we are in the Dynasty now, including the next offseason as well. So it just didn't make sense to completely forget a season and move on with it. So I decided I'd just start a new Dynasty, and we'll go from there. I don't know how it's going to, work out here, streaming and all that, but it's going to be kind of sporadic here or there. I can't promise I'll cut them down in the shorter videos because, like I said, my computer died, so it's not something I'm going to be able to do really with ease. We'll see what YouTube's tools have and how much I can adjust it and trim it, and maybe we'll do a little bit that way going into the future. But I just wanted to get a video out, get comfortable, see how it works, and yeah, kind of have a little fun with it, and hopefully we're able to get this going here, and I'm able to keep my internet connection good and strong, and we'll be able to get a good little jump here in this Dynasty. So Season 1's basically sim to the end here, and we'll see. We're going to the conference championship game. Again, we're not playing it. It's all about next year when I take over the Dukes and move them to the SEC. And if you're new here on the channel, I want to thank you for jumping on and giving me a shot here. So let's advance the week. See if we win and maybe get into the playoffs somehow. I don't think we will, but we'll see. It's always possible. But again, we're not playing it. I'll probably try to get Chesney a better job, and then whoever takes over, I'll just retire, and we'll take over for him, and we'll do the little jump around and make us that way our character takes over here. It's all about the jump, though, and we're going to slowly stream each game, and I don't know how many will be in an episode. I do know today we're probably going to go through the transfer portal, but I think we'll finish up the rest of the offseason in the next stream because I do have some things to take care of tonight, but I wanted to get on, I wanted to get it going, and test the mic, like I said already. So, first off, let's see the job offers for Bob Chesney and see if he has anything worth taking. Temple head coach, not going to take that job opportunity. So, National Early Signing Day. I do want to take a look at the players the computer was able to get on this team for us because these are guys we're going to have next year, and it looks like they did a pretty awful job as expected. So, I know this is going to be a tough run for us. We did get a 3-star D tackle, though. You know, we don't know much about him. He has normal dev out of Maryland. We got a 3-star halfback out of Maryland, normal dev, and then a normal dev. Man, we did awful this year. A 2-star. I mean, that's about as bad as we can do here in the early signing period here. Hopefully next year goes better. We're going to have to use the portal. I already know that's going to be a thing for us because we're going to lose a lot of talent on this team. And let's go ahead, advance to the next week. See if we are able to get Chesney a better job before we jump into the offseason here with this Dukes team. We're going to win the bowl game. That's cool. Unfortunately, I'm sure our record next year will not be nearly as good, but we'll have to hang on and see. Yeah, those are better jobs. UConn, man, number 14 in the country. Who could have seen that coming? Simulating in Dynasty can be pretty weird at times. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and move on to the next week here. Getting ourselves ready for our first off season. Looks like we're not going to have a new job for Chesney, so it kind of is what it is. We'll just replace him, and next year he'll show up somewhere on the carousel. But we're going to take over this team and hopefully build them into something. I didn't really want to use Bob Chesney, but kind of is what it is at this point. I'll just create a new character and let's see who won the Natty. That's always interesting. Texas Tech. I don't think they're going to do it in real life this year. It is cool, though, that two teams that made the playoffs ended up playing for the national title game, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be your title matchup. I do believe it's possible with the way the bracket's set up, but I certainly don't expect that to actually end up being your matchup we see. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked to see Miami lose this weekend to A&M. And, I mean, Oregon's going to be a real tough matchup because I expect them to beat JMU tomorrow, but it's going to be a tough matchup for Texas Tech. I do think Texas Tech's pretty underrated, though. So, and we're going to create a new character. And we're just going to choose, I'm a Gator fan, so, hey, at least it's not Billy Napier anymore. We'll choose this guy to be the head coach. And then we're going to do some gymnastics over, retire him. Create a new character. Yes. Go back here to James Madison. And now we're going to create our new head coach. I'm going to go ahead and choose a motivator, I think. Recruiter. Yeah, let me leave. I'm going to change my mind on that. I'm going to create a new coach. I'm going... Man, this is tough between recruiter and motivator because I do think motivator's better this year, but recruiting is just so important. So we're going to choose recruiter. I have to do it. In order to compete in the SEC, we are going to need these guys to step up and help us out here. So my name's Jeff. If you're new here and never seen me before, and we're going to go ahead and use me as a reference. So we'll make Jeff Dixon our coach. This isn't exactly the fun part of the process, but that's the difference between live streaming and doing it in video format like I've been doing for years. So we'll get used to it. I like the Florida Atlantic Air Raid playbook, and then I like the 4-3 multiple. I'll do my alma mater here as Florida. Get over to the Gators. This part don't really matter, but, you know, got to set it up right. It's going to be Central Florida for our pipeline for that reason. I'm going to be intense. I think intense. Stance. We'll go classic. I think my AI, what do I want to be? I'm mad scientist. We're going to be a little aggressive on offense and defense. Appearance-wise, let's have some fun with this. I'm a big guy. You're not going to see a face cam because, well, I can't do that right now, but let's see if I can find me a younger looking face that might look a little bit like me. Yeah, that's not really it, but I guess we'll roll with this one. Maybe this one? Yeah, we're going to roll with this one here. Head 75. Let's go to the physique. I am not exactly what you would call in the best shape, so let's get off of muscular and we're going to go to heavy. And let's make myself a big boy like I actually am. Gear wise, it's tough. I like this look. Usually I go for the fishing shirt, man, because that's something I would wear. But I would wear the quarter zip. I think we're going to go with a jacket here. The windbreaker. And then lower body. We're going to throw some jeans on here. All right, let's sign our contract. We won 10 games. I bet you we're not going to do that this year as we're going to make the jump over to the SEC. So there isn't a ton that we can do, but let's go into players leaving real quick. I want to see the guys that are leaving this team. We're only going to have... We have 8 persuasion chances. Did not expect that as a brand new coach. So I think it's important, even though Alonzo Barrett's going to be hard. He's such a good player that I think having a good quarterback is going to be, you know, the most important thing as we transition into the SEC because you can't win without him. So let's go ahead and give him a shot, even though I don't expect it to work with really any of these guys. But if we can keep some of this talent on our team, I mean, we need it because our team doesn't stack up right now with the SEC, and letting these guys walk away is not going to make it any easier. But hey, we got an 80 overall junior corner to return in Justin Eglin. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. A sophomore here with Tyler Brown. I'd like to get him, but it doesn't look good. We got 2 tries left. Freshman redshirt, 78 overall. Got to try him. Of course, he decided to leave anyway. And I guess since we don't have our starting quarterback anymore, let's try to bring back Camden Coleman. He's a backfield creator. You know, he's not perfect, but 88 throw power. Some decent accuracy stats here. Not the best deep ball thrower, but being a backfield creator, he should be able to run a little bit. That doesn't really show up on here, but let's give it a shot and see if we can get him to stay. And unfortunately, we can't. So this team's going to look pretty bad as we head into next year. And of course, we didn't have anybody go pro earlier, but as we take a look at this roster when we advance ahead, uh, any senior is not going to actually be on there, and there's a lot of them, so it's going to be tough as we jump ahead here in this. So I'm not looking forward to it, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think I want any 2 stars. Or these guys are not people that I'm exactly excited to have possibly coming join my team here. I'm not. If you don't have a scholarship offer, a 1 star is a joke, man. We're locked out. Get him off the board. He's a 2 star. Not interested. Man, there's some really bad players on this board. We got a lot of work to clean up here, make it right. We're not just going to accept anybody. We're about to be an SEC school. We're going to need to find a way to compete in the recruiting. And, we're already locked out, so I guess he comes off the board. He's a JUCO. I don't want him. 2-star. We're not in the lead. No point in leaving him on the board. Probably shouldn't have taken that 3-star off, but it is what it is. This team's going to be heavily focused on the transfer portal this year, and I don't want to build the team like that every year, but this year I just feel like it's almost what you have to do in year one of a dynasty, so especially when you're losing this amount of talent, and I didn't recruit for the entire season beforehand, so we'll see what ends up happening. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week, and then we're going to jump into our recruiting and choose basically our scouting upgrade because that's all we're going to have for now. But we should get a lot of XP with the offseason and getting players to commit, which is kind of a cheat code in a way, but that's cool with me. Yeah, we have 600 hours. That's actually not too bad. But we're not going to jump into recruiting this episode. We'll jump into that the next one, which will probably be Sunday, if I had to guess. Tomorrow, with all the games on for college football, I probably won't stream it all, but I just wanted to get it started real quick while I had a little bit of time to start it out and test some things and allow me to adjust as we head forward in this. So as a recruiter, I think the most important thing is quarterback, but in the video game, not in real life, it's your offensive line, and that's why I got to go there. There's 5 guys that are impacted by that advanced look, so you absolutely have got to get that figured out. I'm an offensive guy by trade in this. We're going to be an offensive coordinator in our background, so hopefully we can get this offense going and put up some points and have some fun here. The SEC is going to be tough, and it's going to be a true test to see how we can jump ahead. But before we get out of here, I want to look at this roster real quick and just see who we have returning. At quarterback, Saluka graduated. We got a 74 overall freshman, dual threat. I mean, this dude actually seems to have a little bit of skills. So I'm definitely interested in J.C. Evans. He's only normal dev, so he's not going to get a ton better. But, I mean, if I had to start him next year, I don't feel too bad about that. He's got speed, so I'll be able to run the ball with him a little bit. I'm definitely no issue with him in the backfield. Wayne Knight's an 86 overall. I'm glad we'll have him back. That's fantastic. At receiver, he's gone, but we got some decent players. We don't have enough speed, if I had to say. That's one thing I definitely want to look for. We got one guy who has 90 speed on this entire receiving core. That's simply not good enough. At tight end, we got Lakota Dupree. I wonder if he's related to the dude out of Alabama, CJ, that's in the NFL, but not a common last name, so I don't know. He could be a fake player. I haven't looked him up yet, so I don't know a ton about this Duke's roster coming into this, but he's not great. He's in line to be our starter. Offensive line scares me. 64, 68, 61 because that 76 is gone. 65. We need to work on this offensive line badly. We don't have a single player that's capable of being a starter right now at any position on the offensive line. And if we have to start any one of them guys, we're dead in the water to start season 1. And heck, defensive line the same way. We have one defensive tackle that's actually on the roster. Defensive ends all in the 60s. Like, we got a lot of work to do with this team. The portal's going to have to really, really help us out. Sam linebacker, we only got one. Mike, I mean, it's bad. Our best defensive player so far is this Gannon Weathersby at a 70 overall. Until you get to Eaglin, who we did manage to convince to return for his senior season, which will be nice. All three of these guys are gone. 72 overall. KJ Flows are 71 actually next. I tell you what, this is about as bad of a spot as you can be in starting off a dynasty, knowing we're going into the SEC. Ken Willis probably going to be a starter for us. He's actually decent. I don't hate that one. We got an okay kicker by the looks of it, okay punter, but we're certainly going to have to replace both of them. Like I said, we're going to probably replace Vanderbilt in the SEC. We'll go look at their roster, but traditionally, they fall apart pretty quickly in this dynasty. I've noticed this year, and they just don't compete, and they drop to like low 60s overall. And yeah, I mean, you can see this roster is bad. So I think it makes sense. We'll probably knock Vandy out of the SEC, and we'll get the Pac-12 set up right, of course, and we'll do all that because, you know, personal. I like to do it, and I think it would be, I don't know, wrong not to set it up how to be in real life next year. So other than the Dukes swapping with Vanderbilt, we'll get all that set up in the next episode. But Coach Jeff Dixon's going to have a tough road ahead of him, and we're going to see if we can build James Madison into being a power program, because I actually think they have a ton of potential to do that. I mean, their grades are not bad. I mean, they got a C campus lifestyle, D campus or stadium atmosphere, not good at all. But I think James Madison's been incredible since they've moved up, and I truly think that they could be the next like underdog team to jump into the P4, but who knows? They're a long ways away from ever getting that opportunity if I had to guess, but we're going to run that experiment here and see what we can do with the James Madison Dukes. And, you know, hopefully be able to win a couple natties with this. So we'll be back probably Sunday, maybe Saturday, but more likely not Sunday. And from there, I'll try to give you guys an update in the community tab when I'm going to try to go live. And that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you for watching. If you stopped by, if you're new to the channel, consider liking and subscribing. This is totally new to me. I'm using a new mic, so there's going to be a lot of adjusting. If you have any complaints about